Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to lay out a pattern piece according to the grain lines and how to mark any darts and any notches from your pattern piece. So this is my piece of fabric. This is approximately a half a yard of fabric by the width of the fabric. So down here is my salvage. Not sure if you guys can see that. I'm gonna pump it up a little bit. So right here is my salvage. Okay, so you can see this is my salvage, and I've got it folded, okay, and the pretty sides are touching. So it's the first thing you do when you're prepping your fabric. Now make sure you pre-wash your fabric and iron it before doing anything else. So this fabric's already been pre-washed and it's ready to go. Okay, the care instructions are with the fabric that you purchase. So here is my pattern piece. This is my bodice front, and this is my bodice back. Okay, this is for a sleeveless option. This is for a sleeveless option. Okay, this is, I think this is New Look 6549. It might be McCalls. It's New Look. It's a tween easy pattern. So this is New Look 6549, and this is View A bodice, front and back. Okay, so this has a dart here, and it does not have a dart in the front. It just has one in the back. But I will show you how to transfer the dart onto your fabric piece. Okay, so according to this here, this needs to go with the salvage. So if you noticed here, it's down here. See that? It's down here. And then I'd have to put it this way. But as you can tell, there is no fold there. So I'm going to have to refold this so that it's properly laid out. So this is how you want to lay it out, but there's no fold here, okay? You do not want to just put this on the fold and then cut it out like this and be like, okay, I've got this, looks good. This is not the way you do it, okay? Just go ahead and refold the fabric so it's properly laid out for our pattern. So now what we're going to do is going to put our salvage in this direction. Okay, so now we still have pretty sides touching, but the difference is my salvage is on my right hand side, right over here. Okay, this is my salvage. Okay, now I'm going to take my pattern piece that calls for it to be on the fold, and it's okay if you turn it upside down, because when you cut it out, both pieces are going to go in the right direction. Okay. So go ahead and make sure you have nice, good clearing on the top, okay, and then you pin it. You could use pins or you can use pattern weights. I just use pins for right now. I shift things around a lot for me, not because I'm kind of short, so I have to really do a lot of reaching. So pattern weights don't quite work as well for me, but they do work really well for a lot of people. Okay, so make sure it's nice and to the fold and everything is nice and flat. The whole piece is flat. Okay, bump it up, and then we're going to do our bodice back. Okay, it doesn't have to be up against the fold. It just has to clear the salvage on this side. Because what I don't want you to do is to put this all the way over here, and then you've noticed you've got your salvage there. Okay, I'll rather bump it over and cut it again, then do that. Okay, so there we go. Just line it up. Okay, parallel with the salvage. Okay, that's good for me. Let's go ahead and okay, now is when you go ahead and mark your fabric with a marker or any type of fabric pen that you have. I'm using a Sharpie just because I'm going to be cutting all this away anyway, so, and I want it to show up on screen. Okay, just go all the way around and just mark your fabric. Okay. Okay, so now we're coming to our notch. Okay, here. So what I like to do is I like to make a little bit of a line on my notches. Okay, scoop this up, get down here, and I'll show you how to transfer the dart. Okay, so you're going to do this for both front and back pieces. Right now I'm just showing you the back piece. Okay, see that? You see that? That's all within the seam allowance. You're not going to see any of that come through at all. Okay, so for your dots, what I do is I take my pins off here. Okay, and then what I like to do is put one pin through the top of my dart. Okay, pin through all layers of fabric. Okay, now what happens is when I turn this up, the pin is just coming in right there. I'm hoping you guys could see because it's literally on a green. Right there is that dot right there. And then for the back side, I turn it and I just make a dot, just a small little dot where the pin is coming out. Okay, put my pattern piece back down, make sure everything's lined up. See, that kind of moved on me a little bit on this side. Line up my notches again. Good. Do the same thing with these other two dots. Poke the needle in, make a dot, make a dot, turn it back, make sure everything looks good and lined up, and do it again. Okay. There we go. That is how you line up all of your notches and you transfer your dart over. Okay, so now that you've got this down on there, I go ahead and repin. Before I cut anything out, I make sure I repin everything back down. Especially if you have a really silky fabric. This is like a polyester charmeuse kind of fabric, so it's polyester, but it's still nice and soft. And it's a beautiful hand on this fabric. Okay, there we go. Just went ahead and pinned it all back down. Okay, so now for the darts. You can see the dots, but it's kind of hard to understand what to do with it. So I like to come back in. I'm just going to use a pen on this one because it may bleed over with a Sharpie on either side. And I don't want it to bleed over for me. So you just want to get something that has a straight edge to it, a ruler or a box or an envelope, something that has a straight edge. I have a ruler, but it doesn't have to be. Line up the top notch with the bottom notch. Okay, so there's my top notch right here. I'm going to skate this over until I line up perfect right in the middle of that other notch. Just make sure I can see that top notch, okay? And then just go on down. Okay. See that mark? Do the same thing again, just on the other side of that notch. Lining it up. Okay. Now some pattern makers go on and extend this down this direction, just so you can cut out when you cut it out that way, just so that you know that that dart is there. So you do that on this side and then you turn it over and do it on the other side. So you want to do it on both sides because this is a back piece and it will when you cut it out, it's two pieces, it's not one piece. Okay, it won't automatically transfer, in other words, to the other side. So do it again and line up your notches. Okay. There we go. There we go. So that is how you this is how you transfer all of your notches from your pattern piece onto your fabric, and how you transfer that dart onto your fabric as well. So there's other ways of doing it. This is just my method. This is what I've come up with just through my years of experience personally. Sometimes you can do a tracing wheel and trace that dart out and then do it again. That's just how I prefer to do it. So at this point is when you would go ahead and cut out your fabric, and then my next video I'm going to show you how we are going to actually do this dart on the sewing machine, so you know how to sew it up and how you know it's properly sewn up and pressed.